Alright, folks, and welcome back to another edition of our journey in the visual novel If My Heart Had Wings. Last episode, our folks stole the glider. But obviously it looks like they had good reason to do it. I'm not condoning stealing, but it looks like that was the only option. But I do not condone stealing. Don't do that. That is a very severe offense. Especially if the merchandise is over a certain amount, you're looking at a serious crime. So don't steal. Don't do that. Remember, this is a scripted environment. Remember that. All right. So with that being said, we also found out that Asa is very interested in flying. So I think she's going to want to join the Soaring Society, but we still want to refer to it as the Soaring Club. And more likely will probably try to persuade her grandfather to pull some strings to get the Soaring Club reinstated. That is my gut sense that she's going to try to do something like that. So we'll see. More likely Yoru may be a little bit against it, but she might not put up too much of a fight. That's just my guess. But other than that, let's find out what's going to continue at least for this point in time. So Amane, if you could do the honors of loading our latest progress. Alright, let's do it. When the sun went down, the mother of all storms blew outside, so we couldn't get out there and do any repairs. All we could do was now pray that the old dormitory could withstand it and wait for the typhoon to pass. Hey, that girl Asa seems to be interested in gliders.
へえ、そうなんだ。
I was telling Agaha, who was helping to make dinner, about the twins. Because it looks like she won't be able to go home tonight. It seems that Agaha will be staying in Kotori's room. I asked her if she'd like to come and see us fly next time. Her eyes sparkled as she said, "Okay!" I know that was terrible. That's great, isn't it?
それでさっきから鼻の下伸ばしてたんだ。かわいいもんね。
No, I don't mean like that.
そういうのロリコンって言うんでしょ？
Let's make this abundantly clear. We don't roll like that. Aoi don't roll like that, and I don't roll like that. Kotori, who had been quietly chopping the vegetables, joined the conversation. You idiot! What the heck do you even mean? There's only 2 years. There's. That's funny. Bloopers. They're only 2 years younger than me. That's not lolicon. Is it?
葵くん、ああいう子がいいんだ。葵って面倒見がいいから手がかかる子に弱いんだよね。
What kind of observation is that? She says as she looks at Kotori from the side. Kotori doesn't notice her looking as she mumbles things like, "That's so cute, isn't it?" while chopping up the cabbage. We couldn't go shopping that night, so we were making okonomiyaki, fried omelet type thing, from the food we had left over. Anyway, can you guys take back all the manga and other things that you left in my room? If you don't, I'm gonna throw them out.
へえ、あれは貸したんじゃん。ちゃんと読んでよ。マジで面白いんだって。そんでもって熱く語り合おうよ。
Figures. Okay, if I have time.
ねえ、ロリコンって具体的に何歳差からを言うの？
She's really interested in this subject, isn't she? Forget about that. Just chop the vegetables, will ya? The raging storm shook Flying Fish Manor.
ねえ、本当にここに住むつもりなの？だってグライダーがあったから？運命だよ、きっと。ヨルちゃんもそう思うでしょ？運命なんてナンセンスよ。姉さんって本当にロマンチストよね。じゃあいいもん。私のセンスがヨルちゃんに一生理解されなくたってそれでいいもん。ロマンチストな方が女の子っぽいし。
Oof.
はいはい、どうせ私は女の子っぽくないですよーだ。それにさ、なんだかいいなと思っちゃった。ん？何が？空を目指してみんな幸せそうに笑ってたから。すごい風だね。寝てる間に建物がぺしゃんこに倒壊しちゃうかもね。ヨルちゃん、一緒に寝よう。どうしよっかな。ヨルちゃん。
Extend the little wings which fly in this sky highly. The next day, the typhoon had passed, and a blue sky spread over Kazegara.
というわけなので、よろしくお願いします、会長。
Please consider it.
しまーす。
Standing behind Kotori, we bow our heads. This is a fourth grade classroom. Yesterday, we were ordered to go to the student council room, so we decided to take the initiative and go to Akari's classroom. We state the matter frankly. We are making an application for the revival of the Soaring Club. It was a negotiation to restore the Soaring Club, which lost its status last year.
その件はすでに却下されたはずですよ、羽小鳥さん。それは前の生徒会の話でしょ。あなたなら違う考えをお持ちなんじゃないかって思ったんだけど。
No, she doesn't. The title of leader of the Soaring Society isn't just a decoration. For a year, Kotori has been negotiating with the Student Council for the revival of the Soaring Club. However, the previous Student Council president had said that I don't think that Mr. Tobioka would allow it. That was a typical example of someone who is afraid to rock the boat. The previous Student Council was dissolved, and in the election held a few years ago, Akari was chosen as the new Student Council president. In her case, she might actually listen to what we have to say, so Kotori finally had grounds for negotiation. Don't tell me you're a chicken butt for Tobioka also. Akari was deep in thought as she stared at the application petition for the revival of the club. We watched over her with tense expressions. If it isn't officially recognized as a club, there are a few circumstances that could spell trouble for us. First is the issue of the ownership of the glider. That is property of the Soaring Club, so if it becomes a club again, it should be officially recognized as being under our ownership. It was built using club funds, which is why it was taken away by the school, along with the club's status. In actuality, over half the funds for the construction were paid by Amane herself. There was also the problem of the club's funds. Currently, we are facing a serious shortage of funds. The parts and materials come from Agaha and Kotori helping out at Anchan's place, but the transport cost for Agaha and I to go to the airfield and the cost of the flight training is no joke. Our intention is to use the funds to help cover these costs, even if only by a little. Another thing, the fact that we can't use the school facilities. For the manufacturing of the parts, even if we want to use the school's equipment, they won't give us permission. Everyone just uses it freely, but with Mr. Topioka keeping an eye on us, being found out could cause problems. Lastly, we don't have anywhere to conduct our activities. As a result, we had to occupy the room used by the Kazuto sisters. We can't continue to use the dormitory as our base of operations.
お願いよ生徒会長、私たちが真面目に活動してたことはあなただって知ってるでしょ。そうです。慶風学園にとってこれほどふさわしい部活動はないと思いませんか。
She may speak against that and acknowledge the robot club. Everyone was desperately pleading with her, but...
その前に
Glaring, Akari stared at us with a scary expression on her face. That actually doesn't look all that scary. Does that look scary to you?
あなたたちに聞きたいことがあったの。
She's gonna ask about the glider, I bet.
倉庫から消えたグライダーの件よ。
Called it. Her voice dropped down a tone. That alone was enough to make us cower in fear.
何のことかしら。
Even if we're totally busted, we have no choice but to play dumb. Akari is usually a fair person, but she wouldn't be that flexible. If it was clear that we had taken it away, she would definitely have to take action.
何者かが倉庫に忍び込み保管してあったグライダーを盗み出したのよ。あんな巨大なもの、一体誰が持ち去ったのかしらね。
The way she said it made it sound like she was implying, I know it was you. She's completely right, though. The thing with the glider was a huge miscalculation on our part. We knew that it would be a big disadvantage when it came to applying for the restoration of the club, but it could not be avoided. Knowing that this would happen, we came to her first to negotiate. Could it be some kind of geek? Like an airplane geek? Maybe they really wanted it, no matter what. As I desperately tried to give a suitable answer, Akari looked towards me.
あなたたちではないと？
It wasn't. No way. I answer while choking on my words. My heart feels heavy as Akari's eyes full of righteousness shoot a gaze right through me.
いいでしょう。ただし、もし不正な手段を用いていると分かったときは一切擁護はできないので注意してくださいね。
I think she knows, but she's trying to bargain with them. We'll see. Okay. Without thinking, I answered honestly, and Aga gave me a poke in the ribs. That was like I was saying, actually, we stole it.
それにしても、来週には博物館に寄贈される手はずだったのに、どうしてこうもいいタイミングで。
Said Akari as she caught a glimpse of our expressions. It seems that she'd like to know about that. About who leaked the information to us.
Akari-san!
Hey, Mappo would be a good scapegoat in that regard, but who knows? But then again, he does talk a lot. At that moment, Matsasugu appeared, calling out in a frivolous voice.
今日の生徒会何時からでしたっけ？
16時からよ、田崎くん。
じゃあそれまで暇ですよね。どっかでお茶でも。あ？なんだお前ら。
Wait, is that his girlfriend? I thought his girlfriend was someone else. I forget. That bonehead Matsasugu, he's only just realized we're here.
何やってんだ？
部の復帰申請をしに来たのよ。
So you can just get the heck out of here.
なんだよその態度。俺だって生徒会のメンバーなんだぞ。
Matsusugu sticks his chest out in a patronizing kind of way. Oh yeah, that's right. He joined the student council this year as its secretary. In response to Masasugu, Akari glared at him.
どうかしましたか、あっかりさん。
今大事な話をしていたところです。例のグライダー強奪事件について。
I'm pretty sure he leaked it.
ずっと不思議だったんです。どうして博物館に寄贈される直前に盗まれてしまったのか。犯人が一般生徒だと仮定してどうやってその情報を知り得たのか。
どうしてでしょうね。俺バカなんでわかんないや。
I'd say that face says it all. Again, I'd look at each other. Isn't there a better way we can try to trick her? Akari seemed convinced by this poor attempt at deceiving her and didn't pursue it any further. For the time being, it's good that she didn't find the perpetrator who leaked the information. By the way, this is kind of besides the point, but it looks like Masasugu has broken up with his girlfriend, who he was in a band with. According to him, the reason was because of musical differences. According to Aga, he got dumped. After that, he met the girl he was destined to be with, an older girl called Akari Kumoe. Called it! The way he was interacting with her, it seemed like he had romantic interest in her, which caused me to consider just like, okay, wait a minute. Did he break up with his former girlfriend? Because I didn't recall it, but yeah. He's trying to get with her. I had that vibe. I got that vibe. Then, in order to chase after her, he joined student council. This reminds me of that anime called Suzuka. It's basically an anime about this one athletic girl who eventually fell in love with this one guy who was also an athlete in the field of track and field, but by the time she wanted to confess to him, he was killed in a traffic accident. So ever since then, she closed her heart up from that. Then another guy comes along who almost looks exactly like the previous guy, and he joins track and field to pursue Suzuka. It was some crazy stuff. It was more of a slice of life type of thing and stuff like that. But man, was that a roller coaster. That's the end of that little side story.
廃部の一件については以前お話しした通りよ。同情的な気分にはなるけれど、どうしてやることもできないわ。
More likely because of Tobioka. I tell you, if you find some dirt on Tobioka, that's one thing. But, you know, that might be borderline blackmail, so let's not go there. But ultimately, you gotta beat Tobioka at his own game at this point. That's really the only way to get past him. Right after Amane left, it was decided in a staff meeting that the club would have its status repealed without any notification, and then the garage was forcibly taken from us and demolished. This was all under the instruction of Mr. Tobioka. Some of the students were against it, but Mr. Tobioka went ahead and forced it to be demolished. Okay, what is Tobioka's rank? Because if Tobioka is nothing more than just a teacher, then he really should not have that much authority. You know, obviously that has to be reinforced by the board of directors and stuff. And giving Tobioka the ability to actually spearhead it. So he's got to be getting his particular authority granted from somewhere. The question is where? The reason was that this had been promised from the beginning.
実際私も納得はしていないのよ。廃部の根拠は単に望月先輩以外に部員がいなかったからというもの。でも実際はあなたたちがいたわ。
それなのに先生方の都合で廃部を決定するなんて、これは生徒会自治系の悪質な侵害行為だわ。
And that shows to be a bad example to the youth. When you just do stuff simply out of convenience, that is a bad example, and that's what starts up delinquency. So some of these adults and elders out here, they want to wonder why some kids are running so rampant. You guys might want to actually take into consideration if you actually played a role in that with your own conduct. That is a malicious infringement on the autonomy of the student council. And that was actually Akari's line.
あの時私が会長だったなら、もう少し抵抗できていたものを。
I'll give her credit for having a spine. She spoke with her fists clenched and a furrowed brow, and she looked genuinely frustrated. She won't forgive those who selfishly ignore the rules, even if they are teachers. I'm starting to like this girl more already. So that's what happened. She's the one who, when all is said and done, was working hard to help the Soaring Club to survive by putting pressure on Amane, who had been continuing with the club all by herself. At the time when the club was in danger of being shut down. She's strict, but really, she's a good person. Not gonna lie, I can be quite strict at times too. But I do have a heart.
じゃあ復活を認めてよ。
Yes, President. The decision to repeal its status should never have been made. This was our big chance to make ourselves heard, but Akari shook her head.
どうして？
部としての条件を満たせていないからです。まず部員数の不足。
Asa, this is your cue. Now, there are only 3 members. To be a club, you need at least 4 members.
次に活動内容の有効性ですが、これはまあ問題ないでしょう。
This is about whether or not the activities are suitable for a student club. There's no problem as far as that goes.
有資格者の不在。これは深刻な問題ですね。
Ugh.
パイロットの資格なら葵くんが持ってるわ。
それだけでは足りないでしょ。
As well as the pilot, you also need qualifications for the equipment. Things like gliders cannot be administered without qualified personnel. Before, Amane had all of the necessary qualifications, so it wasn't a problem.
最後に顧問の不在。
Mr. Yamanobe, who had until last year been the advisor, withdrew when the Soaring Club lost its status. He was under close scrutiny from Mr. Tobioka and had to deal with a super problem child like Amane Mochizuki. So it's no wonder a third of his hair had gone white, despite still being quite young. He's timid, but a decent guy and a good teacher though.
これらの問題が解決できない以上、申請を認めるわけにはいきません。
Come on, Kotori. Really hear her out.
ケッチ。もし生徒会が認めたとしても、それでは飛岡先生らは認めてくれないでしょうね。
In other words, you're saying it's not entirely impossible. Akari nods.
条件さえクリアできれば、我々生徒会から先生方に掛け合ってみましょう。
With a look on her face that said, "This is what being fair is all about," Akari reassured us. Thank you very much, President. We bow as we make our way out of the 4th grade classroom.
グライダーはくれぐれも見つからないようにすることね。
Okay.
素直な子ね。
As I empathetically reply, Akari treated it as a joke and paid no attention. She's looking the other way.
お お前らマジで盗み出すなんて思ってなかったぞ。
Yeah, there's a lot of things you don't know or consider. Definitely. And with that, we're going to consider a break right here for the time being. So a quick recap or review, I'd say Akari is definitely on my good side, and she recognizes too that Topioka is a total jerk. I think sometime or another Topioka is probably going to be brought down. But I meant what I said too. And honestly, I was a little harsh on the elders about that, about, you know, at just acting inconvenience because it's a bad example. But at the same time, those of us who are of a younger age, we also need to make sure we're not doing that same mistake, because we're just repeating history at that point. Don't do something out of convenience. Do something because it's the right thing to do. That's really what it's supposed to be about. So if we're going to stop this delinquents, we each of us got to take an initiative, starting with ourselves. Now, does it look like it's far-fetched? It might, but it's never going to start if we don't take an initiative ourselves. And you never know. You might just be an influence for somebody else to consider it also. Something to think about. So with that, thank you for watching today. Hopefully that you liked it. If you did, maybe leave a like. And if you want to see more, maybe consider subscribing. And guess what's happening? Guess what is happening on Friday? That's right, you guessed it. It's going to be the premiere of the Doki Doki Literature Club playthrough fan dub, with voice talents Fearless Lynn as Monica, A-Dubs as Natsuki, Bethy VA as Yuri, and Tara as Sayori. And of course, me, I will be the protagonist named Sosuke. That is coming up this Friday, the 31st. The first episode premieres this Friday. It'll go public Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific time. Be sure to check it out. So thanks again for watching. Again, please like and subscribe. And until next time, happy mixing, everyone.